Welcome to Wiencko. My name is DeWitt Taylor and coming to you live because we have a guy from Community Media Network. Let's welcome Jay Wiencko.
Thanks, David.
Hello, Jay.
I'm Mr. Orion, David's co-host. David, do you have a question for Jay?
Yes, I do.
For Jay this afternoon?
Jay, please tell us about your personal life.
Well, I am married. I have 2 kids. I have a son who's 17 and a daughter who's 12, and a wife who I won't tell you her age, but she's younger than I am. I live in Rochester Hills.
Who are your parents?
My parents are both passed away. I lost my dad this past November. He was 85 years old. World War II veteran, outstanding man, just a great model as a father. I lost my mother when I was 12 years old to a disease called scleroderma.
So sorry to hear about that.
Oh, thanks.
Both.
Jay, you have my humblest condolences to you.
Me too, Jay.
Thanks, Dave.
Do you have any brothers or sisters?
Yes, I have 2 older sisters. One lives in Boston, Massachusetts, and the other lives in Florida, Spring Hill, Florida. They're both married.
Where did you live growing up?
I had a great childhood. I grew up in New England. Specifically, I was born in Hartford, Connecticut, and I lived the first 8 years of my life in Simsbury, Connecticut, which was a real rural town across the street from some very vast tobacco fields. They grow really outstanding cigar wrapper leaves in Connecticut, apparently. And so right across from our home was these fields of tobacco leaves that were always, when they weren't growing, they seemed to be catching on fire a lot. My dad was a volunteer fireman, so I got to see some of those fires unfortunately catch. None of them ever got to our house. But after that 8 years, I moved to Cape Cod, and I lived for the next 6 years right there on West Dennis in the heart of Chowder Country.
Chowder Country.
Oh, the soup country.
That's right.
What schools did you attend out there?
Well, I went to a couple of different high schools because after 6 years on Cape Cod, my mother had died and my father was working on the railroad, and he worked about 3 hours away, so it made it tough to get home every night. So he worked in Connecticut all week, and he would come back on the weekends while my sisters kind of kept an eye on me as a high school student. That was kind of a less than ideal situation, so he decided to move us, being him and myself, back to Connecticut so he could be home every night. And so I attended Lyman Hall High School in Wallingford, Connecticut when we moved back. And after that graduation, I went to Boston for Northeastern University, 1 year of college studies in mechanical engineering, and then graduated from Southern Connecticut State University with a bachelor's in communications.
What kind of hobbies and interests do you have?
I guess they've changed over time. Currently, I love to cook. I do a lot of the cooking at home. I like computers. I love to follow investing. The skill of hunting has appealed to me, and fishing I've always loved. I find in the fall I now kind of associate the smell of autumn with hunting. So when I start smelling that smell in September, I know it's almost time to go hunting for deer. And it's been a while since I've smelled salt water, so the fishing urge is kind of in the background, but you tell me when to go and I'll be there. I love to fish.
What kind of activities did you participate in growing up?
Well, growing up I was active. I was a fit young adolescent. I had boundless energy. I was a soccer captain in high school. I loved baseball. I played a lot of baseball, wiffle ball, with friends in the summertime. We'd play all day, all night until the sun went down. Fishing, crabbing.
So
that was one of my favorite things, David, was blue crabbing on Cape Cod. That was, my summer hobby was doing stuff in the water.
So you're saying you're like a tomboy, right?
Tomboy, yeah, I was a full boy. Tom, Dick, and Harry boy.
Got a question?
David, thank you. Now, Jay, what does CMN stand for?
Community Media Network.
Okay, right, Ryan. How did you get started in Community Media Network?
I started, kind of an interesting story. I started as a board member here. As you know, or maybe I think we've told you that, we're a nonprofit organization, 501c3. And back in the very earliest days, I think it was '95 when I first stepped in the door here. and some of the employees said, hey, would you like to be a board member? We need some volunteer help on the board. And so I said, sure. And next thing you know, I was serving as a board member for a year and a half. And then during that time, we found out that there was a position that hadn't been filled, and we needed to fill it. I needed some work, so I offered to put my hat in the ring, and I got the job.
Jay, why were you interested in the video programs?
You mean programs from here,
Yeah.
or stuff I watch at home on any channel?
Video programs. What kinds
Just
of video programs were you interested in doing here
Oh,
at CMN?
that I'm interested in doing?
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of like the fun part about public access is it all depends on what you're interested in. You guys could do a show about fishing or bowling or whatever it is, and here's the open door for you. I like cooking. I've actually done some shows here that were cooking shows. That was kind of fun. I've done a fishing show. It's been a while since I've done shows, so it's nice to be back on a show with you guys.
Jay, now, how did you go through to get your job here at Community Media Network?
The first job I had here was, through the board relationship, so I knew the people that worked here. My background in communications and as a person who did a lot of layout, computer graphics work was helpful, and so I became the outreach coordinator first.
Now, what does the word outreach mean?
Yeah, kind of. Well, if you turn the word around, it means reach out, and that's generally what I tried to do. I would contact people in the community, whether they're nonprofit groups, or schools, or whatever, and individuals, and say, hey, we're here, and this is what you can do here, and why not come in and take a look and get involved.
David?
And Ryan, who mentored you and taught you about video work?
Mentors are always important. I'd say probably college was one of the big steps for me. A fellow by the name of Richard Lucas, he was my mentor in college. He was very creative. I can remember one time in a class where he tricked everyone to think that they had all failed a particular test, and he created this revolt amongst all the students. They were going to go to the department head and complain, and the class was actually about conflict management, and he kind of showed us by an example of how chaos and this sort of thing broke out by saying that we had all failed a test. And he was a much nicer guy than that, so he gave us all another chance at it. But he was a mentor in production of video and other things. But then I actually took a class offered by a cable company back out in Massachusetts, and that's what started me in public access.
What made you become this type of worker with teaching people about video?
What was the first part of the question again?
What made you become this type of worker with teaching people about video?
It's a great way to express yourself. It's creative, yet it's technical too. I guess that's the blend, because I'm not an artist. I can't paint. I really have a tough time drawing. But if you give me a computer, I can put some shapes and colors together and maybe make something that I'm happy with.
Really?
Video's kind of like that, It's helpful.
Kind of like what David and I are doing right now. This video show we're doing with you.
Right. Well, we're communicating, which comes naturally, right? It's just talking. But when you add some equipment to it, you can kind of make it into an art form.
Now, Jerry, tell me something.
Yeah.
Why are you interested in working with people by teaching classes?
Teaching our students here has got to be one of the best experiences that we offer as
So what kinds of
an employer.
What kinds of things would students, as David and myself here, what kinds of things would you offer people for the first time who've never been here before?
The opportunity to use all this equipment. I mean, it's like walking into a store and having a key to go into the cabinet with all the valuable electronics and just go ahead and use it to your heart's content. So I like seeing people get excited about trying new cameras and editing systems.
Now, tell us about your sports resume.
My sports resume?
Yeah. Please give us details how you got into sports.
Wow. Okay. Well, sports has always been a part of my life. My dad introduced me to baseball when I was very young, turned me into a left-handed hitter, a throw righty, played first base and outfield. I loved the sport of soccer as well. And as a spectator, of course, I was a Red Sox fan because I grew up out in New England, went to Fenway Park on a number of occasions. I've actually collected about 4 or 5 balls from the park. And can I tell you a story about
Sure.
the most incredible experience I ever
Tell
had?
us.
I was in Fenway Park on the first base line, sitting up in what they called the rooftop seats. They weren't really on a roof, but they were the highest seats they had. There were only 3 rows. And we were there very early, as was the case. My dad would take us there. We get there well before the game starts. And those days, they used to take what they called infield practice. And kind of warm up the guys fielding-wise. And the manager would hit balls to the infielders, and they'd all finish up by the manager hitting a pop-up for the catcher to catch. And most of the time, he'd catch it behind his back, kind of a trick thing, right? My dad yelled down to the catcher, who was Carlton Fisk. He's a Hall of Famer at the time. And he yelled down to him. He said, "Hey, Pudge," which was his nickname. And he waved, and Carlton Fisk threw the ball to my dad and I, who were sitting there, and I was in the front row. The ball bounced off my hand, and it dropped into the camera bay just below, about 10 feet down. And the game wasn't being televised, so there was nobody in there except a bunch of cameras with covers on them, and a ladder going down the face of this balcony to that camera bay. My dad said, "Go get the ball. That's for you. That's your ball." So I actually climbed down this ladder into the camera bay, got the ball, climbed back up, and you know what? An usher was waiting there for me, and he said, "Give me the ball." He says, "You don't belong down there." So he took the ball from me, and everybody around was booing him and saying, "Hey, give him the ball. Carlton Fisk threw it to him. He threw him the ball." So he took me in the back behind the seats where nobody could see me, and he gave it back to me. He says, "Don't show anybody." So that was my biggest thrill there, was getting a ball thrown by Carlton Fisk, and the other was catching a home run in center field off the bat of Dave Winfield from the Yankees.
Yankees? Yeah. You're the greatest. What, David, you know this, David? Guess who played for the Red Sox? Guess who played for them?
Who?
Jackie Wilson.
Oh yeah, Babe Ruth before.
Jackie Robinson, right? Jackie Robinson.
Babe Ruth.
Jackie Ruth.
So. Orion.
Babe Ruth, definitely, yeah.
Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
Great Bambino.
I didn't learn that Babe Ruth played from the Red Sox until traded to the Yankees.
That's right. They sold him.
Because George, name was George Thurman Ruth.
George Herman Ruth.
And
right.
you played, there was a movie about his life, and John Candy played him in the movie.
That.
Oh,
That was pretty good.
Yeah, it was
I
a good
felt
movie.
badly for him. You know, the guy.
He was the greatest baseball player in the world.
Oh, right. What was the movie's title called?
Yeah, it was Ruth. It was called Ruth.
Ruth, or the Babe.
Okay, I got my question for you.
Sure.
How difficult and challenging is to work with people with and without disabilities?
Without disabilities, it's
With
very
and
tough.
without.
With disabilities, not
with
hard.
and without.
Okay. You know, it's really not much difference. I would say that, you know, each person brings their own personality. You know, and it depends on your outlook on life. If you have a positive outlook, you're generally a pretty easy person to get along with.
Really?
You know, I think that's true.
I'll
Just
tell you
about in
something.
anything.
Hey, Jay, you know David? I think David is the greatest young man I've ever met in my life.
That's a wonderful.
Oh
compliment.
man.
Let me tell you a story. Let me tell you a story. Years ago, David and I were swimming in the swim class once, and David had been pretty good. And the final exam, Jay, was just 20 lengths of the pool without touching the bottom.
Wow.
And David did pretty good, didn't you? I did probably pretty good too. Problem was, I touched the bottom, and Kathy Bell said to me, "Young man, what in the world do you think you were doing, touching your feet to the bottom?" I didn't mean to do that.
Right.
So now, if you could go back into life and change your life, what would you be, or would change, or make different about yourself? If you could change something about yourself. You can say, go back and find something to change and make yourself feel good about yourself. What would it be?
Well, that's a fair question. I think everybody could find something they'd change, but those things change from day to day. I make mistakes on a regular basis that I'd like to change. I can't think of anything that I would go back and think it would really significantly change my life for the better. I've had a good life. I've had people around me who love me, and you know, I certainly haven't been short of any comforts that most people would need. But you know, I think probably I would have liked to have been a baseball player. If anything, you know, if I could just pick one dream, I would have loved to have played ball for the Red Sox.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, do you like Americans playing his home videos?
It's a funny show. I love to
Well,
laugh.
my question is, what is the funniest thing that happened to you in a tipping event?
In what kind of event? Any event?
Yeah, the funniest thing.
Yeah. All right. I was I was
Greg.
about 12 years old. No, how old was I? I was about 12 years old. My family was vacationing in Florida, and we went to a restaurant together. There was a lot of people in this place. It was really crowded. And in a table next to us was another big crowd of people. And one guy in particular, I don't know what happened, but he completely lost it. And this guy he was laughing so hard. It was just making the whole table roar with laughter. Our table was laughing hysterically because this guy, he had such a funny laugh that it was contagious. You know what I mean? Well, we were getting ready to leave. I had to go to the bathroom, so I went to the bathroom. And when I came back out, my group, my family and all, we were all getting ready to leave. And here I am, a 12-year-old boy. I figured I'm pretty outgoing. I walk over to the guy and I slap him on the back and I say, thanks, Happy. You made our night. You know, and I'm laughing, and we walk out the door, and my family's laughing at me, and I'm saying, what's so funny? And they said, that wasn't him. They had new people came in and sat down. There wasn't even the guy that was laughing. So they had another laugh at my expense because that guy looked at me like, what are you talking about?
What the heck are you talking about? Jay, what was your favorite video event?
My first. It was my first as a public access producer. I went to Cooperstown for the induction of Ferguson Jenkins.
Cooperstown?
Hall of Fame, Baseball Hall of Fame.
You know,
My dad.
I have never been there. Never have.
It's a quaint,
Neither have I.
picturesque place out in the country in New York State. And my dad became friends with Fergie Jenkins, who played for the Cubs and the Red Sox.
Did you say Fergie Jenkins?
Yeah. He was born in Chatham, Ontario, right over the bridge.
And you know who lives around here?
Who?
Ernie Harwell.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
I'd like to meet Ernie one day.
I heard he's a great
I'm
guy.
dying to meet him.
Me too. I want to meet him.
So I taped, I was going to say that in that Hall of Fame induction, I brought my camera and I recorded the induction up on a platform alongside guys from ESPN and all these newspapers and stuff. I was right there. I had press credentials for this thing. It was a big deal. And I interviewed the commissioner, Fay Vincent, at the time. And I got to see Ted Williams and Willie McCovey.
Ted Williams?
Yeah, the Splendid Splinter. All these guys, I saw them all.
Did you see Ty
Willie
Cobb?
Mays. No, he'd been dead for quite a while, but I saw his bronze plaque.
Yeah, Ty Cobb was actually a Detroit Tiger.
Yeah.
No kidding. Get out of town.
He was.
Yeah.
And he was a Tiger. You know, many years ago, he played baseball for the Tigers.
That's right. Perhaps
Al
one of the
Caroline?
best. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And in fact, Aaron, did you know that Comerica Park wasn't called Comerica Park? It was called Briggs Stadium back in the 80s. Briggs Stadium was called Briggs Field.
No. This question applies to when you graduated from high school.
Uh-huh.
How dramatic was your graduation?
How was the graduation?
Yeah,
You-
how
asking you,
dramatic?
How dramatic was it?
Oh, it was pretty dramatic. I fainted.
You fainted?
Yeah, it was
Oh.
outdoors. It was really hot out, and I guess
Were you scared?
No, it was after the event. It was just, I guess, heat exhaustion or something. But otherwise I don't remember
my
it.
graduation. Let me tell you something, David. When I graduated from high school, I can remember this, Aaron. I can remember being outside at Yale University and the Mellowbrook.
Me too, Ryan.
Mellowbrook. I can just remember my parents yelling, saying, "Good job!" And I was like, walking with days, and all of a sudden I heard my name, Ryan Nicholas Gray. All of a sudden, Aaron, I did. I just started laughing. I couldn't believe it.
I was dramatic because when it mentioned my name,
This is David DeWitt Taylor.
I
Right?
was about to fall in tears. I thought when my parents said, "Job completed, my son."
No.
Jay, what is your favorite thing to do? And please give us the details.
Details. Favorite thing to do? Travel. I love to travel to different locations in the world.
Like,
Where would you like to go?
Well, the more different, the better. You know, I like people. I like having good conversation with people from other cultures. So I've been to Mexico. I just got back from Jamaica last 2 weeks
And
ago.
how was Jamaica, man?
It was real good.
Making me
Real
hungry.
good.
Jamaica, man. Yeah, speaking of
Beautiful.
vacations, David, I went to Hilton Head, South Carolina. I went down to Hilton Head.
well, back in 1996,
I played
I
golf
was
down there with my
traveling.
dad.
Nice.
I've been to Italy. I've been to London.
I've been to
Germany.
Frisco. And in fact, David, you know what I saw? I went to the Fairmont Hotel,
Yeah.
and I saw the very spot where Sean Connery and the guy in the movie The Rock, John Spencer was his name,
Oh yeah.
where the famous scene where the guy was hanging on the
Alcatraz,
balcony.
Right.
I saw Alcatraz prison. I was scared to see Alcatraz out there. There was a movie you should rent. It's a movie from the 80s Clint Eastwood in it. It was called Steve Malcolm, wasn't it?
Yes, yes, that was good.
Jay, now, where did you go to college?
Northeastern University, right downtown Boston, and Southern Connecticut State. And that was in Hamden, near Yale.
Now, what did you study in college?
Mechanical engineering for the first year, found out it wasn't what I was meant to be, and then communications for the last 3 years.
What did your job in college prepare you to do?
Well, work. College was tough. It wasn't a cakewalk. And my last semester, I carried 21 credits and 2 jobs, and did quite well. I got all A's that semester, and it kind of showed me that the harder I worked, the better I seemed to do. So I guess that's probably the best lesson there.
Jay, what is your favorite sports team and why?
Got to be the Red Sox. The Red Sox are not only world champions, but they're overcomers. Come on. They won the World Series finally after how many decades? My dad got to see them finally win twice. And so, hey, Red Sox have a big history, and the Fenway Park is a special place.
David, a question for Jay?
Thank you. What is your favorite food to eat and why?
Wow, that is tough, David. That is tough. I love anything. I'm an omnivore, and I love to cook. So I'll eat anything. Come on, jerk chicken, curried goat.
Meat,
no, it's got to be more exotic than that.
In fact, I had Taco Bell today. You know why?
What?
Because when I was Taco Bell one day, I had chalupas.
I like chalupas.
I had them. They're really good.
I finally tried to talk about newest platters called Fiesta platters. Very good.
Jay, what is your favorite movie and why?
Wow.
Must be my line.
Favorite movie? I would say that my favorite movie could be, I told you before the show, movies weren't my strong suit, but I guess some of the Bond movies have been great.
Like which Bond film would have been your favorite one?
You had to ask that.
Yeah, I had to.
I couldn't tell you. They all kind of blend together. I don't know. I love the Indiana Jones movies. I guess I like suspense and action.
You do?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, my favorite movie would be drama and action.
Okay.
I would be Lethal Weapon 4.
Mine would be Part 3.
Okay.
And all-time favorite movie is Twister. That's a classic.
My all-time is Wild Hogs.
Now, who is your favorite news anchor and why?
Tom Brokaw.
Tom Brokaw.
Yeah. I think,
him?
Why him?
I think he's a very well-spoken, even-tempered.
Thanks, Aaron.
I thought he was a good, very good anchor for NBC.
Yeah,
I was sad to see him go, and he authored a couple good books too.
Tom Brokaw was actually a war correspondent during the war.
Yeah.
What was your favorite car and why?
Favorite car? Well, I'm very happy with the one I have now. It's a Volkswagen.
So are you driving?
A Volkswagen Jetta diesel, TDI.
Diesel.
Yeah. And I like it because it gets good mileage.
My favorite is my dad's Fireball GTO.
Oh, nothing wrong with that.
My favorite car is
my
dad's car. My dad is a 2006 Ford 500.
Ooh, that's a new one.
My personal favorite is a Ford Fusion.
Oh, Ford Fusion.
You're talking about the 500, the newer one?
Yeah.
They got a lot of headroom in those, don't they?
Now, Jay, who is your favorite actress and why? And Tiffany Devon Tiffany said to us once, she said,
Who? Yeah.
She said to us once, what did you say the last time Tiffany Devon was here? She said, who actress was? She says, Julia Roberts.
I like Julianne Moore.
Do you
know her?
Oh, yeah. She was
She was in Larger Trusted Pierce Brosnan.
She was in Next.
I saw Next this weekend. That's why I remember her.
Next.
Yeah, that was good. I liked
And she was also in the movie, can't remember
the one with the former Bond actor.
Oh, yeah. Michelle Yeoh. That was it.
Okay.
What is your favorite color and why?
Favorite color? Would be the same color as the Caribbean in Cancun, which is kind of an aqua teal.
No,
it's beautiful. It's very peaceful.
Speaking of what you just said, leads me to my other question.
Okay.
Who is your favorite actor and why?
Oh, favorite actor? I like Sean Connery. I like. I used to like Rutger Hauer, but I think he came out with a bunch of lousy movies. So.
Well, my favorite actors are. No French right, but I prefer Pierce Brosnan My favorite actress would be Rachel West.
Well, my favorite actor, if my anchor would be Karen Drew, my favorite news anchor. I like her.
Right.
And my favorite actor would be, I like Helen Hunt as actress.
Yep.
Actor, I love Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, he's
Jay,
good.
what is your favorite sports team to watch on TV and why?
Well, you know, like I said, the Red Sox are my favorite, but I really I loved watching the Patriots this past season. You know,
Was
I'm
it
a New
game,
England
wasn't
fan,
it?
so the Pats had a great season and they were fun to watch.
Okay, who do you like to wear? Sports clothing. Do you like to wear sports clothes from teams? What kind of sports clothing?
Yeah, my wife got me a great sweatshirt that has the Patriots logo on it, and a Red Sox sweatshirt for Christmas last year. They're great.
Well, I think around one day.
You mentioned you read one of my questions ahead of time. Why? I got two to finish it with. What is your favorite place to shop and why?
Favorite place to shop is probably Meijer. I can get everything I like there, and they're
Meijer?
local,
Why Meijer?
Midwestern. Meijer's is, they got food, they got hardware, and
I
everything
love
else.
the AI. I love the AI.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Meijer,
yeah, it's good stuff.
price higher.
It's like batteries. Low prices.
Price higher. Jay, what is your favorite holiday
Holiday is
this year in the year and why?
it's probably Christmas.
Christmas.
Just enjoy it.
And why is that?
Yeah, it's all because family gets together. It's special because I have
And
kids.
well, and Jay,
Yep.
where would you like to go on vacation and why?
Florida.
Really?
Sure, I love the Gulf of Mexico.
You know something? I'm down to Florida once. I'm down there for vacation with my parents many years ago.
Great. It's great.
Well, I'm Mr. Randy.
Hold
What's
on,
great?
one more question before we wrap up.
Okay, I'll wait.
Sure, before we finish, what is your favorite drink or pop and why?
Oh, probably Pepsi with ice.
Oh, my personal into, but I prefer Diet Pepsi.
Well,
I'm David Taylor with my co-host.
I'm Mr. Ryan. I'm
Our
Ryan Nicholas Gray.
director, Aaron Castle.
I'm Ryan Nicholas Gray.
Please come forward, Aaron.
Hoping you, America, hoping you have a safe and wonderful,
In
happy,
2008.
happy New Year.
Let's say thank you for CMNtv for coming on board.
Jay,
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for
Been a
coming,
pleasure.
Jay.
Thank you.
And as
A lot
always,
of
you
fun.
say goodbye and good luck.
Happy